First things first, I want to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you for following my channel. I'm doing this for you as well as myself, okay? When I do these videos, I'm actually doing it for myself, because if I feel like I'm doing it for you or for anybody else, I feel like I'm owing my time to, everybody else, and my content is not going to be as authentic as I want it. I want to be able to watch my own videos and actually take something back from it, okay? So right now in this video, I am 71 days on semen retention. I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience so far in my 71 days. I'm going to talk a little bit about some female attraction, and then I want to kind of connect how PNC, or post-nut clarity, connects with semen retention, okay? So at any point in this video you like it, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so what have I experienced so far in the 71 days? Okay, so I've been doing this off and on since November, December 2024. It's currently October 2025. Okay, so off and on. My longest streak so far is 73 days. Today is day 71, so second longest streak. A couple more days and I'll be matched, and then I will surpass my longest streak. Okay, so what have I experienced? So initially, first 7 days are the toughest, but after that, I get the testosterone boost. I lose my depression, anxiety. Probably about 10 to 14 days, I notice I'm stronger in the gym. My energy levels go up. After probably about 14, 15 days, I'm starting to be able to wake up before my alarm even goes off. 30 days, I start to notice some female attraction. The urges die down a little bit, which makes it much bearable to keep going. Okay, so if you can push past the 30 days, it's going to get a little bit easier for you, and it's going to be a great milestone to pat yourself on the back for, okay? Because if you've made it 30 days, you can go 60 days, you can go 90 days, okay? So make that your first milestone, and then after that, make sure you're eliminating everything possible that's going to spark those urges. So if you tend to feel those urges at your desk, make sure you get up and go do things, okay? Go for walks, okay? Get out and about, suppress it, stay away from the sites, stay away from all that stuff, okay? Stay away from, if Instagram sparks you or Facebook sparks you, get your urges going. Maybe put your phone down, go take a walk without your phone, okay? So that's just a little bit of advice if you're trying to suppress the urges, okay? Now, after 30 days, probably that's when I started noticing the female attraction. About 40 days, I started noticing that my eye contact is crazy, okay? I can make really good eye contact with people, and it's almost like you're transferring energy. You're almost able to read people through your eyeballs, and people start to really look into your eyes as well, and it's almost intimidating for them. You'll notice people look away before you look away, okay? So that is a crazy good benefit. That will also help you with your social skills, okay? When you're able to make good eye contact, you'll start to notice that you're speaking from your mind and you're not trying to impress people. Probably around 40 days or so, you're speaking from your heart and not on behalf of anybody else. You're not trying to impress anybody else, okay? 40 days, I don't know. I haven't really experienced too much of a flat line. I know a lot of people experience a flat line. This time around, I didn't really experience that. I would say I have highs and lows, maybe. But I usually try to get out of that. If you change your diet up a little bit, maybe eat some more fruit, some yogurt, drink lots of water, go on a walk, get some sunlight, make sure you're grounding, maybe go put your feet in the dirt, make sure you're doing everything possible to not go into that flat line, okay? Now, I'm at 71 days. I would say at this point, I'm feeling probably the presence of energy a lot more than I did before. Okay, I did have an experience that I explained in one of my videos where I went to a church gathering and I noticed that somebody was depleting my energy. Okay, it's possible. People will drain you. You let somebody make crazy good eye contact with you as well. They are pulling your energy. Okay, so I was able to control it this last time I went to this church gathering. I was not giving this specific person my energy, okay? I would make eye contact and then I would look away. If I wasn't that interested in what they were saying, maybe I wasn't interested in them per se, I was not going to let them have my energy because it is mine to keep, as yours is yours to keep, okay? So what else? Okay, well, I that's probably it for the benefits so far. If anything changes, I'll be sure to add it in one of my next videos. But let's move into my newest female attraction story. Okay, so if I don't feel like it's female attraction, I'm not gonna talk about it because I have day-to-day interactions at work as well as outside of work, and people will look at me, but I'm not going to report everything that happens, okay? Because I don't feel like it's attraction. I'm not going to say it's attraction, okay? Now, today, after work, I decided that I wasn't going to go to the gym because yesterday and today I've kind of had a headache, and I tried to go to the gym yesterday and it really worsened my headache. So I didn't want to do that again today. So I decided I wanted to go get a burrito at this taco shop that I had heard was really good. So I went to this taco shop, okay, and I'm not going to go into too much detail. Maybe I'll lay the premise, but I ordered my food, okay, and I got a drink. So after I got my food, or after I ordered, I went over, got my drink and my napkins, and then I saw two open tables. Nobody was sitting there by the front door, so I set my napkin and drink, my napkins and drink down there on the table, and then the salsa bar was right next to that. So I wanted to get my hot sauces for my burrito. Okay, so I started to get my hot sauces, and as I got each cup of hot sauce, I was laying it down on a napkin on the table, and I had noticed that an older lady, probably she was a Latina, probably in her 60s, maybe late 50s, um, and she appeared to be with a younger woman, which I'm assuming was maybe her daughter, or I wouldn't say granddaughter, probably her daughter. And there was an older gentleman, but I found out later that he was not with them. Okay. He just so happened to be sitting at that table too. So I'm still putting my salsas down on my table, and she's still sitting there, and she looks kind of irritated, like she kind of wanted those tables, even though I had already set my stuff down. And my stuff is already there. That's my table, so I'm gonna stand my ground. So I got all my salsas or my hot sauces, and then I sat down right next to her. And there are actually two separate tables that are just next to each other. Okay, so I sat down. Her daughter's ordering the food. She finishes ordering, and then she asks her daughter if she wants to go sit at a different table that's on the other side of the fountain drinks. Okay, so she gets up, walks over. I'm sitting there, I'm just waiting for my food. And the older Latina she sits down and she's facing me. Okay. The younger one is facing away. And I could, I'm just looking up at the menu. I'm facing the counter. Okay. So my table, I'm facing into the counter. My back's against the window to the entrance. Okay. So I'm looking, I can see all the cooks, I can see the cashier, and then the big menu. So I'm just looking at this. It's a really attractive menu with lots of stuff on it. I really liked it, and I was looking at it, and I can just feel here. So I'm going to use this hand because she was this way from a video perspective, but this is my right eye, so she was actually on my right side, but I'll just do it this. So she's over there, and I could feel her looking at me. And so I just, I just glance over, and she'd be looking at me. And she kind of had this like RBF, if you know what her RBF is. It's resting bitch face, okay? And it's just kind of like this, this kind of, kind of hating life kind of look, or disgusted at somebody kind of look. And she's looking at me, and I'm not gonna feed into it, so I just like look at her, and then I'm looking back at the menu again, minding my own business. And I could just feel it just constantly. So then my food is ready, so I get up, get my food, and I'm starting to pour my hot sauce on my burrito, and I could feel that she was looking at me even more. I don't know how to explain it, but I could feel it. And I look up, and she had told the other girl about me, or she had said something about me to the girl. And then the younger woman, somewhat attractive, I'd probably give her a 5, 6. I wouldn't say she was smoking hot, maybe a 6. And she turns and looks at me, and I look at both of them, and then I just look away at the menu. I'm not there to cold approach anybody. I just want to eat my burrito, mind my own business. I really was looking forward to this burrito because it had great reviews, and it was really good. I'd probably give it a 8 out of 10. So yeah, they both look at me, I look away, and then just the entire time I'm eating my burrito, I could just feel her looking at me, and I just kept, eating, and then occasionally I would just look over. I would acknowledge that I felt her presence looking at me, and every time she was looking at me, it was weird, like she couldn't keep her eyes off me. So with that, I would just say that either she was very upset that I sat there at the table that I had already claimed, or she felt my presence and she either was attracted to my presence, or maybe she just felt it, and I don't know, but it was definitely out of the normal. I've never, I would say that I've never experienced that outside of semen retention. So that's it for that story. So, next topic I want to talk about is how I believe post-nut clarity relates to semen retention. Okay. Now, after we get through the talking phase, or you have a one-night stand, after you're done sleeping with that person, especially if it's temporary, like it's something that's very new, fresh, I would say majority of men look forward to just sleeping with that person, right? Because it's in our DNA, it's in our instincts to mate, to procreate, to keep humanity going, right? So we are looking to mate. And especially with attractive women, sometimes we lower our standards because we just want to mate, right? And that's where PNC kind of kicks in, okay, post nut clarity. And if it's a new relationship or it's a one night stand, somebody you just met, and then you sleep with them, oftentimes you'll have the shame or guilt after you're done, and you'll come to your realization that that's not somebody who you want to be with. And maybe it wasn't all that worth it. Maybe you shouldn't have followed through. Maybe you should have had a little bit more discernment before you went through with that, right? And that's not to say that we, we dislike that person or we hate the person we just slept with. It's just something that we realize that we don't want to be with that person anymore, and that maybe it wasn't a great idea. Okay. And I feel like PNC, post-nut clarity, relates to semen retention in a way that we get our discernment prior, because once you've been retaining for, I would say 30, 40, 60 days, you develop this discernment where you think, do I really want to give up all my retaining energy to this person? Is this person suitable? What about this person is unattractive or not going to bring value to my life, right? So you kind of get this discernment, like you're able to pick up these red flags and actually make decisions like, yeah, I'm not going to pursue it, right? Excuse me, that was a burrito. But yeah, and you want to retain your life force, right? You've held it in this long. Think of all the urges that you've had to suppress, all the times that you said no to going on the sites, to going on the apps, to looking at videos, pictures, to scrolling Instagram models and bikinis, whatever gets your rocks off, right? You've had to suppress that in order to make it this far, right? So you get this discernment, like, is this person worth it? Is it worth losing everything that I've done to this point for some short-term satisfaction, right? For 30 seconds of an amazing feeling, right? It's not worth it. I'll tell you, it's not worth it, especially if you're detecting these red flags. Those red flags are red flags for a reason, and you should definitely not turn a blind eye to those red flags, right? So that's where I would say that it connects. You got the PNC, which it's more of a reactive, right? You've done the deed and now you're paying the consequences. I don't want to be with this person. They're actually not that, not somebody I could see myself being with. Or maybe they have some really annoying habits or some red flags that you overlook just to get your rocks off, right? So with that discernment prior, you can avoid that PNC going through that phase, and you can actually look who's going to be a better mate and not waste your life energy. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that it's similar in a sense? Drop a comment below. And I do also want to say that I am reading all the comments that I'm getting on my videos. I appreciate all the feedback. Thank you, everybody that's subscribed to my channel. Congratulations to everybody on this journey, no matter how far you are, even if you're on day one, even if you're 2 hours into your journey, stay on the journey. Trust me. Stay 30 days and then keep going, okay? Because this is going to bring so much value to your life. And I know there's a lot of criticism, and a lot of people say, you know, this isn't worth it, you know, this and that. You know what? Honestly, these people have never really gone on a long streak, and they haven't really felt as good as I do. I've never felt this good. I feel like a young kid. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I look like a young kid. I feel like I'm my skin is better. I feel high energy. I don't feel drained all the time. No anxiety, depression. Like, I feel great in the gym. I'm not taking any supplements. I'm not even drinking protein shakes. I got a six pack. I've been eating like crap, and I'm thinking I'm gonna wake up and my six pack is gonna be gone. It is still there, even after eating like crap. I'm not telling you to eat like crap, but I'm just saying, like it does something. You're getting those nutrients, those vitamins, minerals, whatever, from your life force through the absorption of retaining. And I mean, think about it, guys. Think about it. You create life. You have the power to create life. If you absorb that life and you're not wasting it, you're not throwing it in a sock, you're not, or spilling it in a sock or in a tissue, or, you know, in a rubber or something, you're not wasting it. You're actually benefiting from it. So I would just encourage you to keep going, and then keep following me on this journey. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that like, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.